Alright folks, gather around because we've got a juicy one today. Disney, in all its infinite wisdom, decided to pull the plug on the Acolyte, and frankly, I'm not surprised. I mean, who even saw this coming? Well, anyone with half a brain could have predicted it, considering this show was the TV equivalent of throwing money into a black hole.
We're broke.
Let's start with the fact that this show was supposed to be the next big thing in the Star Wars universe. They hyped it up as this grand, epic saga set in the High Republic era, and yet it ended up being a glorified dumpster fire. Seriously, who thought it was a good idea to let someone with barely any experience handle a $180 million budget? That's like handing the keys to a Ferrari to a kid who just got their learner's permit. You just know it's going to end in a wreck. And let's talk about the writing. If there were plot holes any bigger, you could fly the Millennium Falcon through them. The storyline was more tangled than a bowl of spaghetti, and not in a good way. It's like the writers took every bad idea they could think of, threw them into a blender, and served it up with a side of disappointment. I mean, the twin storyline, come on, that gimmick was so tired it needed a nap halfway through the season. But hey, at least we had the stranger, right? The one character who was halfway decent. Sure, let's give a slow clap for that one thing they didn't completely botch. And Darth Plagueis? Yeah, I'd like to see more of him too, preferably in something that doesn't make me want to gouge my eyes out. And, oh, the acting. I've seen better performances at middle school plays. The uneven acting wasn't just cringeworthy, it was downright painful. And despite the show's astronomical budget, it somehow managed to look like it was shot on a shoestring. How do you even do that? You've got all the money in the world, and yet the whole thing looks cheaper than a knockoff lightsaber. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the cancellation. Some people are out here saying it's a win for toxic dudabros like they're the only ones who dislike this hot mess. Please. This show failed because it was bad, plain and simple. It didn't matter how diverse the cast was or how innovative they tried to be with the setting. You can wrap a turd in gold, but it's still a turd. Disney's problem and Star Wars' problem is that they've lost the plot, literally and figuratively. Ever since Lucasfilm got swallowed up by the mouse, it's been one disaster after another. They keep throwing huge budgets at projects with no clear vision, no strategy, and no idea of what actually makes Star Wars great. And let's be real, if you don't have a solid story and strong characters, all the special effects and grand settings in the galaxy aren't going to save you. So yeah, The Acolyte had potential. Maybe a second season could have salvaged something, but honestly, I'm not holding my breath. Disney needs to get its act together and stop throwing good money after bad. If they don't, the entire franchise is going to keep circling the drain, and no amount of fan service or flashy new characters is going to stop it. But hey, that's just my opinion. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments below, unless of course you were one of the 3 people who actually liked this show. In that case, you might want to reconsider your life choices.